In the heart of the Basque country sits Mouléon, the original stomping ground of the espadrille. This traditional sandal has been made here for over 2 centuries.
This is a unique machine. There's only one in Mouléon. And if one piece of it breaks, we can't go back to the machine's maker. They no longer exist.
I know that when I said to my parents, I've quit my job to start a business making espadrilles with my childhood friend, they looked at me funny, saying, "Is this really happening?" But today they're the #1 supporters of our project.
This 100% natural Pyrenean sandal is made up of a piece of fabric sewn onto a fibre sole. 5 companies still make the shoe here today. In his factory, Armand Marzat churns out 400,000 pairs a year, both classics and those with a modern twist.
That's where we cut all the canvas, and then that's where we do all the stitching. And this is the assembly area, where we stick the canvas onto the sole of the shoe, and where the seams of the sole are all stitched.
In his workshop, Armand uses a machine designed in Mouléon to make the sole of the espadrille, this vulcanized press.
We have these molds, as you see here. They're molds which imprint the base of the espadrille. We put rubber on, and the sole is then baked at 180 degrees for about 2.5 minutes. And there you have it. It's vulcanized. The rubber is inset into the fibre sole.
Mouléon became the capital of espadrille production in the 19th century. Back then, thousands of Spanish workers crossed the border each year looking for work.
They were called the swallows because they came to work here in the winter. But they migrated in the opposite direction to swallows. In winter, they would cross the Pyrenees to come here to Mouléon. They were very brave young women because there was no road. They crossed the Pyrenees on foot. It took 3 days, so they would have to sleep in the mountains. And then in the springtime, they went back home with a nest egg that earned. And they left behind memories which we've kept alive. Memories of happy women who used to sing despite their suffering.
The espadrille found fame thanks to its comfort value in hot temperatures and lightweight fabrics. This canvas can be found in the neighbouring valley. Competition from Spain and Asia has taken its toll on the industry, and today there's just one loom left in the Basque country.
This loom dates back to the 1960s, and it was designed specifically to make canvas for espadrilles. On each needle you have a hole, and each of the 1,472 threads is threaded manually through each hole. We pass each thread through by hand, one after the other, through these 1,472 needles. It can take 2 people a week to complete. The production of canvas for espadrilles in France is something that's extremely rare, very rare.
The fabric manufactured here is destined for the workshops in Mouléon. It'll be sewn onto the soles that Jean-Pierre Ericard still manufactures on this relic from the industry's heyday, a 108-year-old loom. To make the soles, he still uses this vintage mould.
It has a metal strip on top with small holes and spikes which you can adjust when you want to change the shoe size. It must be 80 or 100 years old. You can see that it's really worn from where people have worked with it with their hands over the generations. It's got real character.
Jean-Pierre's daughter puts the finishing touches to each sandal. All the sewing here is done by hand.
When you sew them by hand, you use a buttonhole stitch. That means that there's a knot on every stitch, so even if they crack, they won't break. Espadrilles that you find in supermarkets are all sewn mechanically and in one long stitch, so if one part of that stitch comes undone, the whole stitch comes undone as well. So these shoes here are of a much better quality.
It takes 3/4 of an hour to finish by hand, versus 3 minutes using a machine.
It's very beautiful, it's great, perfect.
These two young designers from Moulins have come to check out their latest creation. They've been reinventing the traditional shoe for 4 years.
I really wanted to make a collection of espadrilles that we would like to wear ourselves. We've used different kinds of fabrics, from the sparkly to the colourful. We tried to bring something different, and that's what really inspired us at the very beginning. Everyone likes to have a product that's a bit different, original and made in France. People are also interested in finding something local that's well made and good quality. That's what's important here, I think.